I think for me, that was the hardest thing, was to spend a lot of money in advertising. Because, I just shake my head and go, what do you mean? It definitely makes a difference. But you got to spend it wisely. So that's a key. We had the first web page. And, my wife said, and my brother, of course, younger than me, talked about the web. And I said, it'll never work. Nobody will ever buy off the web. And I sold, wasn't more than a couple of years later, I sold a huge dock system. Never met the guy. Still haven't met him. And I just shook my head. But see, that isn't me. I'm 51 years old. To this day, I have to go touch it and feel it. But that isn't where the market was. The market was in the internet. So the internet's been really, really useful, because then the internet kind of educates the customer before they get to us. And that's important too. We don't ever get anybody to tell you can discount yourself into profitability. You can't. And I hold my margins on everything, and if you hold your margins and you know what they have to be at the end of the year, you'll be all right.
What kind of advice would you give to people who are thinking of starting their own business?
I think you want to evaluate yourself. You really want to make that decision. Am I ready for this or ain't I? And then get into a business you enjoy doing. In my business, we already had a taste of it, so we knew so much about it. But it's a lot of fun. I mean, people stop by and they're happy, they're buying stuff, they enjoy their lake place, they're happy to spend the money. So really, from me, when I was a factory employee and I had to go talk to dealers, they typically had problems they were dealing with. I like the retail end. The hours aren't so good, but the retail end is people are happy. They're proud of what they have, and they feel happy spending money with you. So that's rewarding.
Of all the things that you're probably thankful for over the years for being a business owner, what would you say you're most thankful for?
I think you got to be thankful for your family. That's gonna, my wife has done lots of things by herself. My brother spent a lot of time working. I spent a lot of time. I was glad that we were all focused and working as hard as each other to get to the end result. If you didn't have that combined union there, I think it would be tough. I think if you're going to have partners in your business too, make sure they have the same ability to put in the time that you do.
Did that cause any stress, having a sibling as your partner?
No, actually, I don't think there's any doubt we couldn't have done as well if we'd have ever been separated.
Now, there's a lot of people that sell docks and sell lifts. What has made you, what separates you from your competition and has made you successful all these years, Donavan?
Well, I think one of the advantages we have is we have a really good company that's our major line of product. They're local here in Fergus Falls. I think Jeff and I, because of our background so many years at Shoremaster here, probably our knowledge, and it's all we do. A lot of our competitors sell docks and lifts too, but they sell cars and they have hardware stores and they got gas stations and restaurants. This is all we do. So I think we're a little more focused on it.
Now, you have made this all happen in America. What are your thoughts about America?
Well, that's the good thing about America, because I don't think in many other countries that you could literally start out, especially a business of ours we knew something about, but it isn't like we started with a lot of money or we started with taking over a business our dad had. It was really something that Jeff started that first year, and it kind of took off on us. And I think maybe sometimes when all the negative is that you hear on news, I think you got to realize that, boy, there's a lot of positive out there. It just doesn't probably get as much time in the press. But I don't think there's another country you could do something like this. And it's just not me. You could go through, like you are going to, countless businessmen. Matter of fact, I would tell you that most of the people that were at Shoremaster when I was there, most of them have their own businesses now.
If there was a student in high school or college that was looking to start their own business, are there any sort of courses or background that you'd suggest they have?
I think nowadays, I didn't go to college, and you could get away with that in the 70s. I don't think you can now. So I would go to college. I think going and working for somebody in the field is a good idea, because you're getting experience from somebody that's made mistakes. There's a difference between just being smart and having wisdom. A lot of people are smart. I have a lot of wisdom because I've made a lot of mistakes and I've learned from them. So that's the difference.
I want to ask you about you're, as a small business owner, you're going to be responsible for your own retirement, I would assume. So I know you. How do you plan for that? You don't have probably any big pensions. We're not working for other people, so we're just working for ourselves. What are your plans?
Well, the one thing that we do is that we pay ourselves, and we do our 401ks, and we have other outside investments, and we've been pretty diligent about that. And I also look at, when you have your buildings paid for and you're building a business, that's worth something when you retire too. And I think if you can be fortunate enough to show the profit in your business, some business owners don't want to show profit because they don't want to pay taxes. I love paying taxes because I want to show the profit, because in the end, when I sell my business, when I go to somebody to sell it, they're going to look at what kind of money has this guy been able to make over the last 20 years.
Talk to me about what you feel this business may have done for your community.
Oh boy, I think my business, like other ones, not only does it keep people here that went to high school here and keep jobs here, we pay our property taxes. We have, again, people working for us, summertime jobs for people, just a lot of, and the company before that I worked with, Shoremaster employs a lot of people locally in Fergus Falls. So I think the big thing around here is, trying to keep people around Fergus.
What has most surprised you about being in business for yourself?
I think in my business is really the friendships you develop with the people you do business with.
Have you had any crisis moments, any time where you wished you could have quit this?
I don't think that, but I think my most interesting moment is when I walked out of Shoremaster's door. And that, to me, I don't think it was a crisis, but it was definitely a situation where you go, well, now I'm on my own. And looking back, I don't know if there's really any more pressure. If you work for a big company and things go bad, they let people go too. So maybe in a way it's easier to be in your own control of your destiny if you're a business owner.
How do you think this experience has changed you?
I think I appreciate, if you're working for a company and then you go start your own company, I think you appreciate people's work ethic and what they're doing. I might be the face of Lake Area Docks and Lifts, but all the guys working for me and stuff make it happen.
So would you do it again, Donavan?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And other businesses too. I just admire the people that I know that have their fingers in two or three of them. And that just means that they're entrepreneurs. They're usually not, you can't become a workaholic. You don't want to do that. But, if you enjoy work, there's nothing wrong with that. And making things happen. I think that's a good quality.
Donavan, how did you come up with Lake Area Docks and Lifts, and how do you go about advertising or marketing your name and brand?
We did things kind of first, like we did direct mailers, and there was just certain things that we did even at boat shows that we did in our business that worked, that we were able to go tell the dealers, I know this works. I didn't read about it, we do it. And then, we would be asked to come in, and there was many times in Pelican that they would bring, Canadians in or people from Michigan or Maine, and they would want to go through our store, see how we did things. So that was, that was an interesting experience that we had, and it was just trying different things. And if it works in Minnesota, it works all over.
So tell me, if there was a certain trait that you think is important for, a good staff person or a good business owner, what would that be?
Well, one of the things I always tell my young guys that start for me, and a lot of them have been very successful. I end up with a lot of football players and stuff. They're big, strong guys. I always tell them that they will be judged at my place, not how hard they work at what they like to do, but how hard they work at what they don't like to do. Because anybody can work hard at doing what you like to do. But if you're going to be successful in any business, you're going to have to do things you don't like to do, and you're going to have to do them well, and you're going to have to do them right away. get them done and over with. Yeah.
Have you found that you need staff that follow directions?
I've seen so many different people that have come through my operation, and you see them a year later and they're in college and they're texting their mother, I want tools for Christmas, so I got tools when I go to work next year, and they're so proud of what they do. And I still remember a big football player that I told didn't have to work on a Saturday, and I was the only one up there. It was early in the spring, and he was building panels and he worked all day. I said, you don't have to work and at the end of the day he stood there, hands on his hips, he said, look what I did today. And I thought, you know what? He had never had a job, and he had never done anything by himself. And he was as proud as if he was playing Division I football.
Donavan, when you hire a staff person, what are you really looking for, and what are you expecting?
I think you got to look for somebody who has a lot of people skills, because I always tell my wife that, I would say the guys that work for me putting your stuff in the water, they sell more product than I do. They're representing, that's the face that the next door neighbor that has to come over and see what's going on, they will call me the next day and go, man, I can't believe how professional your boys were and how nice they were. And all of a sudden they're buying a dock and a lift from you, not because of me, not even because of the product I sell. It's the product, the kids that are representing me, or the young men. And so that's huge. That's bigger than, you talk about a surprise, that's the most surprising thing that's ever happened, is how much the face of your employees reflect the true business and bottom line. Because when they come to you and they want to do business with you just because of who you are, that's a whole different world. And I've been really blessed. The young guys that I've had over the years represent my company very well.